anxiety, overthinking, worrying too much, even when things are good. These are so many people experiencing this today. So, today I want to sit with you and share how Siddha Tantra looks at this and how we can start gently to step out of this anxious mind one step at a time. First, when one is caught in anxiety, often one falls into a subtle trap. One ends up trying to solve the thinking problem by thinking harder. You want to outthink yourself. You want to think yourself out of anxiety. But an anxious mind cannot really find a true solution by using the same anxious thinking. It's like trying to lift your head while a heavy stone is tied around your neck. Now, you can't truly imagine freedom while still clinging to that weight. It's not possible. So one has to understand the pattern first. When one is anxious, it is very tempting to think about the future, to overanalyze, to imagine negative scenarios, and sometimes it even feels smart thing to do, as if thinking about bad outcomes will prepare you for them, making the unknown more familiar, trying to soften the blow if it happens, soften the negative future by imagining and mentally going through as if preparing for it. Mostly it is a coping mechanism. And this actually ends up feeding the anxious mind. Thinking becomes a habit, and negative thinking becomes a very sticky habit. The mind starts believing that it is productive just because it's thinking about the problem or the danger. And over time, this negative thinking becomes the default setting for the mind. Now, even when life is good, the brain might find some comfort, not in actual joy of the moment, but simply because the bad thing it projected in itself didn't happen. For example, say you go to a party. Now, instead of enjoying the connection and the fun and the environment, you feel relieved that at least nobody criticized me, or at least I didn't embarrass myself. Things like that. Or you finish a presentation at your work, and instead of feeling proud of whatever, sharing your knowledge, whatever you're doing, you end up thinking that, well, at least I didn't forget my words, or at least no one laughed at me. Or, for example, if you go to a trip and instead of remembering the experience of the trip, the adventure and the sightseeing and so on and so forth, you find yourself thinking that at least nothing went wrong at the airport, or at least the weather wasn't so terrible. So this mind isn't celebrating what is beautiful, it is just breathing a little bit easier because the disaster it imagined didn't really happen. Now, this is a survival mode thinking. It bends even positive moments into something very small and tight. So where does this pattern comes from? Often anxious and perfectionist thinking, so to speak, grows out of deeper insecurities. They grow out of feeling of inadequacies from misplaced identities. Thoughts like, I am not enough, I must control everything, I must not be seen or heard as wrong or weak. So these are also related with the mask, the appearance that we want to keep in the world. And if you somehow, because of circumstances, end up in a situation where the mask or the public persona that you have in public, personality in public, is not really your true self or not something you resonate with, then there would be conflict. And if the persona or the public image has been created in a totally disconnected way from yourself or identity, then these coping mechanisms also end up surfacing. One ends up belittling oneself, putting oneself down, because one is disconnected from the inner power, and one starts to feel that one is not enough. And because to maintain the image or the persona, one would want to know the possible outcomes, possible scenarios where one is functioning, and will want to control everything. And that is an impossible task. You cannot rehearse your life beforehand. You cannot prepare for everything that life brings. You have to sometimes just experience life as it is. And if you are used to preparing, and if you are used to rehearsing your life before actually living your life, then you will always be in this catching up mode where you are feeling you are never in control, and you will always see yourself as not enough, because life will invariably throw surprises at you. And in those surprising moments, if you have a conditioned mind of rehearsing everything before experiencing life, then you will not feel enough in that moment, because that's a new moment and you have not rehearsed for it. So, first of all, these negative thoughts like I am not enough, or saying that, okay, fearing not to be seen as wrong or weak, these are so deeply seated thoughts, or gets so deep in the mind, especially the negative emotions and negative affirmations, if you can call that negative affirmation as well. They go so deep that they can impact the mind and your behavior as well. So you must realize that first of all, you are not your anxious thought. You are not the fear that you are experiencing or feeling. You are the whole sky. And just like in sky, clouds may come and go, but the sky remains. Just like waves rise and fall in ocean, but there is a deeper layer of ocean at profound depth which remains unperturbed by these waves. And that's where one should abide to experience life in its fullest, joys and sorrows. And when we forget our inner power, when we forget the Shakti within us, then we start building these mental healths where we imagine judgments, where we imagine future failures and fears around it. Now, the Siddha Tantra way is very simple. Follow the process. Take one thing at a time. Focus on what you can actually do right now. Not on how you are being seen, not on some imaginary outcome that your mind is concocting. Now, every time you move from these spinning thoughts and loops into simple actions, then you place a stepping stone towards freedom. With every conscious breath that you take, instead of another spinning thought, you end up loosening this knot a little bit more. Any small act, taking a moment to ground yourself and reset, breaks the spell of this imagined fear. Action dissolves anxious imagination, and awareness, presence melts this imagined future. Healing also means to learn to receive positive moments directly without filtering them through fears. Important to recognize it without judgment. No? First, identifying these loops, not with self-hate and not with shame, just noticing, here is my mind, spinning again instead of living. Seeing it already loosens that grip. Awareness itself is half the medicine. So one has to break this pattern and remember not to fight thoughts with more thoughts. One has to break the energy flow for that. You can take 3 deep conscious breaths. You can stand up and move, shake your hands, shake your body, stretch. Feel your feet grounding into the earth. Movement and breath pulls you back into this moment, the real moment, the now, where life is actually happening. Doing one small act, any action, pick something physical, not a mental activity, but a physical activity, anything. Washing one dish, writing some lines in your journal, or trying to do the pending tasks that you have, messaging or doing the chores in your house, small actions. These will bring you back to life. And one must stop this imaginary preparation for a future disaster. When mind starts preparing for a negative outcome, one needs to catch it gently, that real preparation will happen through presence and not through fear. And through this you teach your body and nervous system to prepare through calm attention, and no need for some sort of rehearsal for catastrophe. Now sure, one must be planning the future. One must be taking contingency plans, plan A and plan B for different things in life, and that is very natural, And the point is to do the process and not hanker on in the thought, not imagine catastrophic scenarios over and over again in your mind and generate worry and anxiety in yourself. Following the process and taking action, doing step at a time. And beyond all these practical matters, it's important to remember who you truly are. You are definitely not your fear. You are surely not your anxious thought. So who are you? you are the one who is seeing this. You are the one who is experiencing this. You are Shakti. So it's important to remind yourself through the day that I am Shiv, the eternal consciousness. I am Shakti with infinite energy and potential. That is your true self. And one must build trust. Fear ends up becoming a habit. So trust will also have to become a habit. Having a spiritual practice, even a simple one, helps in building this trust. Remember that life is not your enemy, and your mind heals itself one breath at a time, and it truly is true. So have trust in the process, have trust in yourself, and abide in your true self. So if anxiety has been close to you for a very long time, remember that it's just that your brain has adapted to that way of thinking. It's just the habit of your brain, mind. And just like any habit, this can also change. Step by step, breath by breath, it will change. You are not broken and you are not weak. You are the sky, you are the consciousness. And the cloud may gather, but the sky remains vast and pure and untouched. So slowly, patiently, lovingly, trust the process and take one breath, take one step, and this anxious mind will give way and reveal this diamond that is hidden within you, your true fearless self. So for anxiety, for worrisome loops of mind, see it, identify it, break it, then act and remember who you truly are, and trust in your inner self and trust the process, and then repeat that. So when the mind falls into loop, don't argue with it. Don't argue with your mind. Don't believe it either. Don't believe everything that your mind brings. See it with kindness and break it with breath or movement, and act in small ways. You are not your thoughts. You are the vast awareness behind them. And trust isn't something that you need to wait for to cultivate. It's something you practice. Trust is built by practicing one breath, one action at a time. And yes, in Siddha Tantra, we also train into sensory perception and presence to ground ourselves even deeper, to reset the mind beautifully from its very root. Now, these are beautiful practices to learn when you feel ready for it. So, if this question touched something inside you, know that you are not alone in this, and every step you take matters, and every breath of presence matters. So if you feel that these steps are helping you, but you also sense something deeper is needed, a real transformation at the root of the mind, then yes, sure, you are welcome to explore the path of Siddha Tantra. It's a living tradition, and we don't just manage the mind, we liberate it, where we train the senses, where we awaken the Shakti inside, and where we truly learn how to dissolve this restless mind back into its original pure state of awareness. And these are practices, transmissions and understanding in Siddha Tantra that works at a level deeper than thought, that nourishes not just mind but the soul.